Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and as the thumbnail shows you, disaster struck. It was only a matter of time before it was going to happen, I suppose, considering the amount of cars that we get through. But yeah, it's not a good day today, to be honest. So if you can remember, Project Max, our 2015 Popstar, we sold it before it even actually officially went up for sale. The lady took it before I even got a chance to do the final walk around video due to the weather. The day after she picked it up, she was on her way to work. She works nights in Chelmsford. I got a phone call about 6:30 saying that the car's broken down. I was gobsmacked, to be honest, because it drove lovely. And she said, I think the clutch is gone. It won't go into gear, it won't do anything. So I thought, oh no, like, that's it. Clutch, gearbox, something like that. And I couldn't understand it 'cause it drove absolutely fine. There was no juddering, the biting point was spot on. I couldn't make head nor tail of it. So, cut a long story short, I arranged for a recovery truck to go and pick her up. It was there and had her back within 2 hours. It's been recovered to my unit and it's sitting just outside the office door there, which I'll show you in a second. I lent her Project Eddie, the 2015 facelift lounge, so I've insured that for her so she can go to work as well. So she's not off the road. While we have a look at this, I've stuck my head under the car already last night when it got delivered back here about 8 o'clock, and it looks like I've diagnosed the problem already. So what I'll do is I'll head out there, guys. I'll spin the camera around and I'll show you what I've found and how we're going to fix it. The return of Project Max. So here it is, guys. I'm struggling for space at the moment. As you can see, I've got the Abarth there and the other car up on the ramp there, which we're going to start. But I've managed to shoehorn it in here. So yeah, when it got delivered back here last night, first thing I did was I checked this reservoir, clutch fluid. I noticed it was quite low. And I'm not a qualified mechanic, but I know my way around cars. I'd like to think a fair bit. So clutch fluid being low, I know that the clutch probably is okay, and it's the clutch fluid is low is the reason why it's not going into gear. Then you start thinking to yourself, why is that? Is the slave cylinder leaking? So I stuck my head down the back there, had a quick look and look underneath the car. I couldn't see anything obvious from the slave cylinder, and then I remembered behind this wheel there's a little valve that goes between the slave cylinder and the master cylinder, and they're prone for leaking. I've done one on one of the first cars that I ever did before I even started the YouTube channel, and when I looked under there last night, I found this, which I'll include a picture of now in the video. So hopefully you see that, and it all points to that valve leaking or having a crack in it. So the way I fixed that last time, and I've looked on YouTube again, various channels to make sure that it's still an acceptable fix, is with one of these. So you do away with that valve, and then you fit an 8mm straight coupler compression fitting in there with the olives. So I'm going to actually video this, guys. It's something a little bit different for you guys to see as well, but I'm going to video me doing this. So if this ever happens to want to use, you know how to do it. But that's what you need. I don't know if you can see that if it's focused. Get these from Screwfix or B&Q. I think this was about £2.70 from Screwfix. So I'm just going to set you guys up on the tripod. I'll get this car put up on the jack and get the wheel off, get the arch liner off it, and then I'll start videoing it of me doing it. Right, folks, we're back. So it's jacked up. I will be putting an axle stand underneath it before I start messing about under there, but I just thought I'd show you this quickly. So when I stuck my head under it last night, obviously the wheel and everything was on, but I noticed, put that there, it's better. I noticed this was all wet here, and I know that this little valve here is above it. So I looked up there, and as you can see, it's wet. That shouldn't be wet. So touch that, lick my finger, and it tastes really sweet. So I know it's clutch fluid. So I'm 99% confident that that little thing there is what's giving us the trouble. So I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod, but that's held in a little plastic bracket on a clip, basically. So I'm going to unclip that, pull it down, and then the plan is to cut the pipe either side of that little valve, and then put that compression fitting in, join it, make sure it don't leak, top the fluid up, and then bleed the clutch, and then that should be it. Fingers crossed. So I'm just going to set you guys up on the tripod, and then we'll get to work on it. Right, folks, you can see the axle stand is just in there now. So first thing I'm going to do is unclip this out of there. It's a bit hard to see on this side. A bit of a bastard to get out, to be honest. Obviously not designed to just fall out. Got it. Right, so you can see that's unclipped out the bodywork there. And that should ping off with a screwdriver. What did I do with my bloody screwdriver? It's in the boot. Hang on 2 seconds. That should ping off there. Like that. Same as this end. Yeah, I'll just clip that one back on. There we go. That should come off there. Like that. There we go. And this, yeah, you can see there, look straight away, guys. See that crack? Let's see if that camera's making it out. There's a crack. I pointed with a screwdriver. There's a crack right along there. So that's definitely the culprit. So just clean that pipe up. Like that. A little bit. And now the plan, as you can see, there's a solid pipe there. You can see where it goes back into the sort of like the metal or plastic pipe there. And then there again. So I'm going to cut that just as it ends on that bit of pipe there and there. Because otherwise, if you do it on the thicker pipe, you can't get the olives on. So you cut it just as it goes up in diameter there. And the same that side. And you should better slide the olives on. Sorry about that, guys. Someone just came in to speak to me. So, junior hacksaw. Probably best cutting up, actually. Cut that there. Yeah, got that one. I'll just put a new blade in it as well. And then this one I should be able to cut downwards there. Just grab that under the car. Yep. Let's see how bad that was. I don't know if the camera's making out. You can see that crack there. That's where the leaks come from. Yeah, definitely, 100%, guys. 100%. I just make sure there's any more on it. Yeah, that's it. So see if that focus. You can see that crack. That's definitely where the leak was coming from. See in the end there as well, that bit of pipe that's just inside the black bit, the olive won't go on if that's still attached to the plastic pipe. So all I've got to do now is just clean the end of that up with a file, clean the end up with that with a file, and put that connector in there. That should be it. So I'm just going to clean them up with a file, guys, and I'll be back. Right, I thought instead of using a file, I'll use a bit of emery cloth. It's probably easier to get it in there. So just give that. And it'll go in over there. This is where I missed the lift been spoilt for the last few months. Gone back to old school on there, doing it on the floor on the jack and the axle stand. That one's okay. Just a little rough bit on the back of that one. Sorry guys, I didn't see that, yeah. So just give them a wipe over, like so. So that's nice and clean. Wipe over. Yep. We should get our little connector. That's it there. And then what you get a little olive there. Remember to put that on first, then put the olive on. That screws into there. So, goes over there like that. Slides on there like that. And the same the other side. You usually get one side from memory. It's a bit more of a pain to get on the other. But if you've cut it nice and neat, yeah, that's nice and neat. That goes on. And that slides in there like that. Remember to keep it pushed in tight when you do that up. And just get 2 spanners on that. Sorry guys, didn't have my spanners ready. So you want 2 16mm spanners. If you ain't got 16mm spanners, a 5/8 is actually the same size. So I've got a 16mm and a 5/8 there. And make sure that it's in tight. Nip that up tight like that. Make sure that you've got to make sure that pipe's pushed right in tight as well. So it's right home. You almost want 3 hands doing this, really. Let's give it a couple more turns. And the same this one here. There we go. Right. What I'm going to do is now take you out the tripod, actually, guys. Show you. So you can see that's what we've got there now. It should actually go back in this clip and ping back in there somewhere. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. You can just cable tie it up there out of the way. But I'll try and get back in the clip. But before I do any of that, I'm going to top up the fluid reservoir, and I'm going to pump the clutch a few times, get the air out of it, and more importantly, I'm going to wipe all this off here with some brake cleaner and just make sure that it don't leak. So I'll set you guys back up on the tripod. I'll top the fluid up and back to you in a second. Right, now to get to the slave cylinder, in order to bleed the clutch, you've got to take the battery and the battery tray out because it sits right under there. So to get the battery out, obviously disconnect the earth first, then disconnect the live. You need a 10mm spanner for both of them nuts. They come out. Put the battery on the floor. Next, you want to disconnect these ECU plugs here. I'm trying to do it one-handed, but they should come off there. Anyway, disconnect them, unplug that plug there, that lifts up like that. Again, I'm trying to do it one-handed, but you'll get the idea anyway. But yeah, unplug that, unclip that, then there's a little 10mm bolt there where my finger is there, just touching there. You want to undo that nut off there. There's 2 little cables on there, and then you have to undo that plastic clamp there on that main cable because that's holding the battery tray in. And then there's 2 more plastic clamps. You can just see the torch to stay there. There's 2 more plastic clamps. There's one there and then one next to it there. Pop them open. Then there's a 13mm bolt there, 13mm bolt there, and then there's another one, 13mm nut in there. Best advice I can give you is WD-40 that one inside there, and the one that actually holds the battery in on the battery strap, WD-40 that, because 9 times out of 10 they'll snap. So WD-40 it, wait for a couple of minutes, and then wind it out or undo it. And then if it's just starting to bind up, wind it back, do it back up, undo it, do it back up. Keep doing that a few times, and then it will eventually clear the thread of all the rust, and it will come off. Don't just whack an impact gun on it, because it will just snap straight off, and then you're in another world of hurt, and you've got to put a new bolt in it. So I'll come back to you guys once this battery tray's out. Right, folks. You can see there's a slave cylinder there. The plunger's actually, although this hasn't got a squeaky clutch, while I'm in here, I will just emery cloth that up and put a bit of grease on that, or a bit of copper grease, so that will help prevent a squeaky clutch in the future. Here's a little bleed nipple. That's normally got a rubber bung on that, which I've already pinged off and put in my pocket. I've already attached a bit of plastic tubing. You can get this from B&Q. It's basically fish tank tubing, but you can get it from B&Q. They sell it by the meter. It's not expensive. I've always got loads of that sitting around for my normal day-to-day job. But yeah, so I've attached that to that. And there's a little bleed screw. So you pump down the clutch 4 or 5 times, hold the clutch down, then release that little screw, and then the fluid will squirt out through there. Repeat that same process 2 or 3 times, constantly checking that the reservoir over there hasn't gone below minimum. And on the last time you do it, you hold the clutch down and release that, and then you shouldn't have any air bubbles in it. Do that back up, and then your clutch should be bled up. So I'm going to get someone else to give me a hand to do this. It's a 2-person job really, to push the clutch down and hold it down. If you really get stuck, you can pump the clutch yourself and then wedge it down with something, and then come and release that screw. It's a bit of a ball ache to do that on your own, but it is possible. So I'm just going to nip next door and get the guy next door in the unit next door to give me a hand, do this, and then I'll be back. Right, folks, so the slave cylinder and the clutch is all bled up now. I've put the rubber bung back on, the bleed nipple. I've emery clothed and then greased up the plunger shaft on the slave cylinder as well. I've topped up the reservoir fluid as well. And then down here, there's the little repair we've done. You can see there's no leaks on there. I've wiped all around that joint. I can't find any leaks anywhere at the moment. So what I'm going to do now, zoom out a bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the battery back in. I'll pop the wheel back on and the arch liner and that. I'll get it back down on the ground. And then a moment of truth, we find out if it works or not. Right, guys, moment of truth. Let's see if it moves. Oh, negotiate myself. Oh, negotiate myself into it. I've got to reset the clock as well. Right, it goes into gear. Well, hey, look at that. She's moving. Superb. Let's put the window up, it's freezing out here. Brilliant. Great news. Brilliant stuff. Right, guys, that's it. It goes backwards and forwards. It goes into gear okay. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm going to pack all my tools away, give the floor a bit of a clean. I'm going to take the car for a 5 or 10 mile test drive just locally. Make sure it all goes into gear okay. There's no problems. I'll check underneath the car again to make sure that that fitting we've put in, there's still no leaks from it. And then I'll make sure the fluid's still okay. The clutch fluid, that is, still okay. And then I'll ring the lady and tell her car's ready. So I hope this has been fairly educational for you. It's a little bit different to some of the stuff we do and that, but I felt like I needed to make the video really. So feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the video. Let us know what you think of the service with Gave the Lady. As I say, she only had the car a day, but between calling me and getting a recovery truck to her and getting her in a replacement courtesy car was 2.5 hours. So we've paid for the recovery truck. I've paid 65 quid to insure for a week on the courtesy car. So the recovery truck was 130 quid. So it's cost 200 quid, but her car's ready next day and she's back on the road. Fingers crossed. So feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you need me to go through anything else with you or tell you how to do that fix, just let us know and I'll reply to the comments. But I better put a disclaimer on this as well, actually. This is how I've chose to repair that car. In no way do I endorse or suggest you do it. And if anything happens, the clutch goes or anything, that's down to you guys. This is how I've chose to do it based on other YouTube videos. So if you choose to do it, I can't be held responsible if there's any problems. So legally wise, I better just put that on there, guys. All right. But I think it's a perfectly good fix. If you choose to do it, that's entirely up to you. So thanks very much for watching. Look after yourselves and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.